Who cares? Fucking Tom Brady, some famous guy, some porn star. What's the difference? What does it matter to me? The reason why this story is important in my mind is because it teaches us the tactics that is being used against men, okay? That could be used against you in a divorce, in your own social circle, in your neighborhood, in your company, with your family, with your mother, with your friends, with your children, right? So one of the advantages of these type of, kind of high profile cases is that everything or a lot of stuff is written down and followed by the media. When you're being divorced, it is a quiet hell. Nobody's there to support you. And you're telling people, well, she did this. And then there's no proof. Like nobody believes you. I saw her, in this location with this guy. With the media, they take a picture. So it's a lot easier, because there's documentation, right? But the tactics that top predators use, okay? So like I've said before, these top Chads, these top Tyrones, they also get attacked by the most dangerous predators. So it's always that case. For example, I saw a cat outside the window, right? And there's a massive, I don't know what kind of bird it is, but it's some kind of like bird. It's like 3 feet tall, right? And the cat was like trying to sneak up on the bird kind of, and then the bird just looks over like, what the fuck? And then the cat just walks by him, right? Because the cat's like dreaming of taking down the bird, but there's no way he could, right? Because the bird is just totally invulnerable. But by watching, it's like predators take down what they can take down, and they want to take down the best. The best predators, they want to take down the top game. It's just the way it is in everything, right? Tom Brady gets no benefit. He doesn't feel good about winning a football game against a high school second string quarterback. He wants to beat the top guy in the fucking, in the key moments of the final game with the best players in the world, right? That's how it is. The same with women, same with men. Men want to take down the top girl. They want to fucking fuck. They want to take the clothes off. They want to fucking go into her ass in the top girl, right? Same with girls. Girls are like, they compete for men. They want to get the top guy, right? And then the top girls, the very, very top, when they get the top guy, what they want to do is destroy him because that shows how strong they are. If they destroy the guy and come out with tons of cash and prizes, then they get tons of respect. So like you're dealing at a level where there's no love. It's so difficult for these guys. You think it's easy to be Tom Brady? No way. It's like you're dealing with people that they look at you and they see something totally different than just a human. They're looking at you as like, you're the top guy. I mean, you're the fucking top Chad. You're one of the top Chads in the entire world. And they see you that way. They're like, they see all the press. They see, it's difficult. I think a lot of people, like normal guys, can't really envision the forces at work when you're really famous or really rich. But I want to try to bring it down and also show how dangerous and dishonest these tactics have become, because marriage and divorce used to have some semblance. I remember like in the 70s, Kramer versus Kramer, that period, there was a movie called Kramer versus Kramer. It was the first like divorce case of a kind of good couple. And it was like Dustin Hoffman got divorced and nobody had really done anything wrong. And it was just the pain of divorce. And it was like the tactics used in that movie were nowhere. They've gotten so much rougher now. So that the reason, the thing is like the motivation to get married has just gone from like basically there was no motivation after Kramer versus Kramer. And then now it's like so much worse. So let's go through the tactics. So I want to look at a couple articles here. Let's start with this one. So we got Tom Brady with Giselle, and the topic is this son, right? So this son is somewhat of a, it's a, gossip, somewhat news gossip. It's kind of a mix. It's not clearly, the World Examiner or something, right? But it's up there, right? But the thing about this, here's the funny thing about these kind of newspapers is they do have serious stuff on them too. So people make fun of them and then the next minute they'll post something about them. So there is a bit of dishonesty with people. Anyway, let's just say, They use like Associated Press, Newswire, and stuff like that. So they just get stories that everybody else gets too. So it's easy to paint everything as everything. But I read the Sun. I'll read the Sun. If there's an article and it's good, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? If it's, I'll judge it for myself, right? Anyway, let's look at this article. So, speaking out. Okay, now let's just analyze that. Speaking out. What would you need to speak out about? And then break the silence. Okay, what would you need to break the silence and speak out against abuse? Okay, that's when you're going to break it. Speaking out is when there's abuse. It's like when there is unfairness, when there is racism, or if a company, like for example, is abusing their employees, or if they're breaking the law, you will have somebody who speaks out, somebody who's a whistleblower, right? That is the type of, this is what they use, speaking out, breaks silence. So breaks silence, that's even more. That's like, they're hinting here, they're telling you that there's a lot more to this story, that this is important. And they are really right now, they're painting Tom Brady as basically evil and her as a innocent flower. She is, and also innocent flower under duress, like taking a risk, a very brave, she's very brave here. She's speaking up. She's breaking silence. Like, fuck, man, that's exciting, right? She is a good person, right? She is risking her own life because this company is like poisoning their employees, and she's going to go against the grain. She's going to speak out. But what do we know about this case so far? Okay, so now, so that right there, that's all you need to know. Is like they show this picture of this kind of like dream for a woman, really. He looks like a king here. Doesn't he? I mean, like, look at all that press. Look at those flowers. Look at that kind of uniform he's wearing. So it's kind of like the picture is of the Kennedys. Okay, it's kind of like the Kennedys. So what they're saying is like, why is this picture here? Is this to bolster Tom's appearance or to bolster Giselle's appearance? Right? This is to bolster Giselle. So Giselle, what they're saying, see, with pictures, this is what's so interesting about the press. When you write an article, right, the picture you choose says more than the title, or at least as much as the headline. Mm-hmm. They're trying to say many, many things, and they don't want to say them directly. Mm-hmm. But they're really like making her look like a fucking princess, really. She's from Brazil. Okay, third world country. She married this guy. She's over the hill. She used to be a model, which is based on her looks, but her looks are gone. So anyway, this guy married her, and then for 13 years, now she's breaking up his home, and they're getting ready for a big divorce fight for the money, right? Everybody said, I said in the beginning, she's going for his money, and everybody said that wasn't true because she has more money than him, and this and that. We will see in this article, I was right. I was fucking right. That she is going for the money, baby. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But everybody said, like, the last month or so, everybody's saying, like, that's bullshit. She's not going for the money. Okay, well, let's see about that. So anyway, they are painting her as, what they're doing right now is they're creating an icon. That's what they're doing. They're creating an icon in Giselle. Giselle is the top now. She is now she's the new it girl. Okay, they used to call it in the 60s the it girl. She's the it girl. She's the one to look at as everybody's always looking for guideposts. Okay, who should I respect? Who is the new person that is really working the system the best today, right? Now, Giselle is number one because she married this guy. She had like a perfect fucking Camelot existence and two beautiful kids. And then now she's going to, what's happening here is they're starting to try to use, and this is what's happening. This is what I see is, I think I can put this into words. What they're trying to do, okay, here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a regular guy, a nice guy, look like an abusive guy now. That's what they're trying to do. That is what is going on. See, the words break silence and all that, speaking out, those are those are, if you think about them, they're framing him as having a bunch of secrets and something pretty bad like physical violence, cheating, what else? Mental violence. I don't know what words you use for this, but basically like abuse, and they're using the words of the worst kind of guy. But then if you go into it, there's nothing. So that's what's happened in divorce is like, it started out, people would just get an abortion if they were raped, right? Mm-hmm. Then they would get an abortion. But now you can just get it because you just want it. Mm-hmm. And just because you change your mood or because you wake up and you think, I want to wait till next year, whatever. You can just, so it starts out as one thing and then over time it becomes something else. So when they came up with the reason why that law was enacted, it was fake because the girl who did it, she turned her back on the whole movement later, right? She wasn't raped. It was all a lie. It was all total lie. I forgot the whole story, but basically she was a big anti-abortion advocate. The Roe or Wade or whatever it was. She was the one, right? So it was a lie from the beginning. But anyway, what they were saying is like, in the worst case scenario, we need this mechanism in order to right the most terrible wrong. And then over time, it's like, oh, you don't like this flavor of gum? We'll get another flavor of gum. That's what it becomes, right? Mm-hmm. So with divorce, it started out like, hey, you could be abused, you could be like, whatever, violently attacked, killed, cheated, thrown out, homeless, whatever, poison, whatever they can think of, like whatever the worst. I mean, when you really think about it, marriage is none of these things. This is all bullshit, right? It's just humans talking to each other and having a relate. It's like so dumb. But anyway, they make it look like it's a war zone or something, right? And so, like it's love, right? It's like human relations. They're complicated. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's like hiring people or working with friends. It's like, it's complicated, but it's not a war zone. It's just so insane. The whole thing's insane. But they make it look like every marriage is secretly this total insane war zone that you don't know how bad it's like, what are they talking about? Like, what are they talking about? People get up every day. I'm looking outside. They drive to work. They come home. They eat food. They kiss their wife. They fucking play with their kids. The kids break the rules. They fucking punish them. You know what I mean? Like, the wife wants to see this movie and that's real life. But they make it look like there's this hidden insidious. This is what bothers me, is that they hint at it. They hint that everything's so bad with every woman. And so that's what gets your imagination. When you're reading it, you're thinking, well, maybe there is something bad. Maybe there is a cover up. Maybe men are terrible in every marriage, right? You know what I mean? Like, you start to think that. But it's totally insane. It's not true. It's like there's no proof. I mean, if there's proof, I'm fine with that. But there's nothing. Like, here we go. Here's what they're trying to say here. Here's what they're trying to say. Inconsistent partners. Okay, so what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Inconsistent partners. Like someone...
Cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating, right? That's what they're hinting at, is inconsistent. Cheating partners. They're trying to use a word that is hinting at something that's pretty bad, right? Now, keep in mind, this guy is very, very hot guy. Okay, he's good looking. He's athletic. He's rich. He's got character. He's well liked. He's really well liked by the fans. Like, I tell you, even in Boston, where he left, the Patriots, tons of Boston fans. We were just there. Everybody loves Brady. They're watching Buccaneers games. I see guys wearing Buccaneers hats in fucking Boston. That's how well liked he is. And like, you know what I mean? Like, the Boston fans are like known for being fanatics, right? And like, this was unheard of before Brady, but he's so well liked that there's tons of Buccaneers fans now. I mean, that's something. That says something, right? Yeah, these guys are fucking hardcore, right? They will kick your ass. They're known for kicking your ass at the stadium, right? And then even then now they are also, because they like Brady more than they like the Patriots, right? Because he's cool, right? He's fucking cool. So anyway, now they're saying inconsistent partners. This, I can tell you right now, today is October 12th. Nothing has come out that this guy's cheated. There has been not one report that I've read, or even insinuation, like serious insinuation, besides this kind of smearing of inconsistency. I've never seen anything serious or even not serious written about him cheating. This guy doesn't cheat. That's the only thing we can say at this point. There could be more information coming out. It is possible. And I still wouldn't think it'd be the end of the world. Chad is going to have other girls. Okay. If Chad does not have other girls, Chad is really almost insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's your right as the top Chad, is, let's face it, is you got girls lining up. Once in a while, you're going to like go over there. But as long as you support and love and give, a good face and let's face it, like, is there any better face than that? Like, as long as you give respect and face, the top Chad is always going to have girls throwing themselves at him. Once in a while, he's going to fuck up. He's going to be weak one night. He's going to maybe partake in that, right? That's the truth about life, right? It's the same thing with a super hot girl with an old rich guy. She's going to cheat eventually, right? She's just 20 years old. He's like 75. No matter how much she quote unquote loves him, even in some, mythical scenario, one day her old boyfriend, you know what I mean? Like, when things are imbalanced like that, it's just, things happen, right? It's different. It's different than if, let's say, your wife is supporting you. You're at home and you're like trying to get a job and she's like working her ass off for you and then you cheat on her. That's like way worse. That's like, she's giving you everything and then you fuck her over. And you're not even Chad. You're just some loser, fucking the neighbor who's like this fat bitch because she walks her dog by her house or something. There's levels of stuff, right? When the top Chad gets weak one night for the hottest girl at some fucking, town somewhere in some hotel and no one knows about it, come on, man. I mean, come on. There's just like, come on, man. That's not that bad. But even that didn't happen. That's what it looks like. It really looks like things have gotten tighter in the world, like the media, social media pictures. This motherfucking guy has been hounded by the press every minute of his life for like the last 20 years. This guy has never been caught cheating, And so it is kind of really unfair to make it look like slamming inconsistent partners. Well, okay, if the guy didn't cheat, right? Bucks and Brazil model have researched following an epic fight. Okay, here we go. Hired divorce lawyers, broken her silence again, and she's holding her hand up. What does that look? That's like the Black Panthers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is really being. This article is portraying her as a true fighter for justice, as somebody who was wronged, who was abused, who is now coming forward to lead. She's like, nope, I'm putting my life on the line, I'm putting my reputation on the line. But that's the opposite of what's happening. Mm-hmm. This is a model who has the press in her back pocket ever since she was a girl. This woman is like the ultimate in coddled, supported, listened to. I mean, everybody's just like, Giselle, what flavor of Chipotle do you like? Like, we know there's different, subtleties of salt. Like, what is exactly that? What color mauve do you really, what is that? Look at her beautiful, like, stringy hair. Like, what exact, look at that. It looks like a fucking, look at, cut. Let's just look at the top of her head here. Okay, let's just see that right there. What dog hair? No, what, like what exact coloring? You can even see gray marks in there. Yeah. What beautiful, like, conditioner do you, it's like, no, this woman was treated like a queen. She was taken out of poverty. She's bolstered into the scene. She's relevant again because of this guy. She would not be. Nobody cares about Paulina Poroskova. She was an old, like, super hot model, but no one follows her. This girl knew, and to her credit, it's all good. She knew how to play the game. She was hit the wall, she had kids. Okay, she did it right, right? What she didn't do right is she abused the guy and then broke up the family, right? So she's a homewrecker. This is a homewrecker leaving her kids. They're like 9 and 11, something like that. They're really young. She's breaking up the family. She is no fighter for justice. She's not even a good mother. I mean, a good mother would stick it out. This guy's not cheating. What does she need to stick out? What is so hard about being married these days? What is she fighting against? What is she fighting for? Who the fuck is she leading? Like, what is going on here? Broken her silence. Okay. And then here's some random tweet. Okay. You can't be committed in a committed relationship. Okay, then think about this. You can't be in a committed relationship. Okay, marriage. Okay, they won't even say marriage. They're going to say committed relationship. They can't say marriage because that's too close to homewrecker. They never tell the truth. This is so dishonest. With someone who is inconsistent with you. Read that again. So basically, guys, like I said, do not get married because you could be the richest guy, the biggest Chad, the guy who's like athletic to the end, handsome as fuck. You could be forever relevant. You could be the most dynamic, long-lasting, strongest, smartest, because this guy's smart. Brady is very fucking smart. That's part of his, longevity. He's not just athletic. This guy's smart as fuck, right? He's playing the game right. You could be all these things. And a woman cannot be in a committed relationship with you. Why is that? Because you're inconsistent. But what is the inconsistent? What is this thing? I wonder, what do we know so far? And then she has 20 million followers. Okay, she broke her silence. She basically gave it a fucking thing, whatever it's called. Hands together. I love. What is that? That's praying. That's, again, this is the same kind of mark. Is like, when you're really being fucked over and you need God's help. You're like when there's a major disaster, your children are dying and
some prayer hands.
Yeah, the prayer hands, right? What do? You pray. You have nothing else left. There's nothing to protect you. You just ask for God's help. You just, please, God, give me, you know what I mean? Help my babies to survive. This is kind of the prayer, really, seriously. And it's like someone's listening to you. You can't be in committed. But what do we know so far? All we can talk about is what we know. What do we know? All we know is that she's frustrated with Brady's decision to reverse his NFL retirement. This is the string they're hanging on. You can't be in a committed. They say that again. Broken her silence again. She visited a spiritual healer. Okay. What is really? I just want to talk about this real quick. What is inconsistent about a man who is an NFL quarterback? He's the longest lasting NFL quarterback in history. What is inconsistent about him playing one more year? What is inconsistent about that? He played for a long time. Okay, now when you're getting really old in the NFL, just in case Giselle's not aware of this, as you get older, every year you have to decide if you're going to play again. It's a very big decision. There's a lot going on. It's not like you deciding to do something. Okay, Brady is working for a man. He's working for a bunch of investors. The NFL is a business. So he might tell them, hey, look, I'm ready to quit. And then they say, look, that's great, but don't do it yet. We're going to do this for you. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. Play one more year. What do you want? What do you want? We'll give it to you. So his kind of, it's like just think about it. Like in a company, you're trying to quit and you're like the top programmer. It's not that easy. It's like, there's a lot of complications, right? As soon as you say you might quit, like the company comes to you and they're like, let's talk serious here. What do you need? What do you need? And then all the fans start pouring in, right? And your own children, everybody's like pouring in like, don't quit, don't quit. This guy's a hero. I mean, let's face it. Guy's a fucking hero. He's a phenom, this guy. So when he tries to quit, it ain't easy, man. It ain't inconsistent at all. It's like a very difficult decision. And it's his own personal decision at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he has to decide based on everything that is presented to him. And it has all come from his own heart, right? And his own decisions, everything. And he has to make a decision. What am I going to do for next year? Every year is that kind of painful struggle as you get like, he's like 45 years old, right? So every year it gets more complicated. But there's more things to think about every year. It ain't money. Money is not a problem. Like they're offering him more money to be on the news already. You know, he's getting these offers like to be in the media. Like, you know, he ain't gonna have to worry. It ain't money. It's more like other intangible things that he really cares about. And those intangible things are serious. Men like to build. He's thinking of the greater good. This guy's not going for the money. He's already got the money. And also he's got offers of more money. You know, he could just tomorrow be the president of a crypto company getting like 5 times as much or whatever. You know what I mean? Companies would be like, Tom Brady, you want fucking, you know what I mean? You want to be our spokesman? Cash, baby. How much you making? Don't worry about it, bro. We got you covered, you know? It ain't a problem. It ain't a problem, right? And not only that, man, the NFL wants to hire, right? The TV wants to hire. Companies want to hire. Like serious companies. Like he could start his own company. Like there's so many offers, right? So he's in to be just a tiny bit empathetic about this poor man. He's been a good man. He's been consistent. He's been successful. He's made every right decision. And he was very close to retiring, and you can see why. But he decided to do it one more year, right? Now, what is her job as a wife? As the wife of this guy and the mother of his children, what is her job? Her job is to support him in his, you know, the man has a dream. The man has a path. Now, some men never follow their path. Okay, so there's broken men who don't perform. And in those cases, there's no way to trust them, either for their friends or for their lovers, right? Because they're not following their path. They're just like small level thieves, you know, just screwing people over, selling cheesy things. You know what I mean? Like, but this is the opposite. This guy here, that guy on the left, he's the exact opposite. This is the real deal here. You're talking about the real deal. You're talking about a wise, intelligent, athletic. He's also very good at dealing with people. His human relations skills really high. And that's why he's so well liked. So he really has got everything, like humor. And also, too, I've watched the first series of that, The Man in the Arena. It's a series about him and his first years and stuff in the NFL. And like, it's really interesting because you really get a glimpse of what a cool guy he is too. Like they kind of cover up the fact that he's really a man's man and that's partly why he gets so much support from his teammates. It's like you can sense, like, if you watch that carefully, especially the first 2 episodes, you can see how, you know, the press ignores a few things. Like, this guy's a man's man. He's like a fucking cool guy. He talks shit about people. He's not this Disney character. He's like, the reason why I say that is because that's important when you're in a football team. These are gladiators. You're leading a team of like some seriously badass guys, and you don't do that being Disney. So he's kind of like, really, this guy is pretty amazing because he does this, you know, larger corporate thing very well. Mm-hmm. You know, like he represents the NFL, kind of like John Basilone represented the Marine Corps. You know, he was a hero in the war. He went and sold war bonds, right? But he's like, this is not enough. I want to go back in and fight. John Basilone, then he you know, they didn't want him to go back and fight. And he went back and died on Iwo Jima, right? This is the kind of guy we got here with Tom Brady. Like, I'm not saying it's the same, but it's the same kind of guy. Like, he's able to fight, and he's also able to be like a serious civic leader and like top level, you know, guy. But at the lowest level, the most important level, is him and the boys. He's grabbing the machine gun. He's going for it at the Guadalcanal. He's fucking going for it. If you want to see about John Basilone, search John Basilone, the Pacific Guadalcanal. That's a great scene. And you can see the level that you need to be a really like Medal of Honor kind of guy. That's kind of the level. Like a Gladiators is kind of, it's the sport version of that. Okay, right. At the very least, right?
Like this guy would be the guy to follow like in a medieval battlefield.
Yeah.
It's like this guy's in the front.
Yeah.
And everyone's following this guy because he knows what's up.
Totally.
And
Totally.
outside the battlefield, people are still going to follow him because he knows how to deal with all that bullshit.
Right, the kings and all
Yeah.
this kind of heavy. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. I'm not saying it's the same, but it's the same personality. He's capable of handling, all these different levels of things, right? On top of that, we have no inclination this guy cheated. Now, every night, women throw themselves at this guy. Every single night. Every hotel they go to. If you ever watch any groupies movies, they're waiting at the hotel. They're waiting. There's girls waiting. There's like well-known groupies waiting at every hotel they go to. And they're just like, pick me, And me and my friends, like, how many girls do you want, right? That's what happens every night. What's his name? Will Chamberlain was famous for being with like 5 women a night. They're just like waiting every night to be there, right? That's the kind of, his temptations are different than yours, right? This guy, for nothing to come out about this guy in all these years, pretty amazing. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't come out, and I'm not saying it would ruin his reputation in my mind, but I mean, it hasn't yet. And some of these guys are, faithful. So from what I've seen so far, the only thing I can say is this motherfucker's faithful to this woman, despite all this. And then she said he's inconsistent. Well, what is her job as a wife? Her job is to be supportive of his dream. Now, did she know his dream of being an NFL quarterback and being the top? Yes, she knew. She knew that this is like the most important thing to this guy. This ain't some guy who works at the post office who said he's going to quit and then he didn't. He's going to quit fishing and he didn't quit fishing, or he's going to quit gambling. It's not like that. It's like he's building a legacy. And then, like, of course, she probably wanted him to quit because then they can like have more time together or whatever. But, to call that inconsistent, it's really a travesty. It's really, it really, whoever this Jim Sheridan guy is like, it's pretty pathetic to even hint that there's inconsistency. I mean, that is like really the case of a journalist really not knowing or having any understanding of what people are going through, right? I mean, you could say she quit her modeling job for him, but you could also say she was at the end of her modeling job, right? That matters, right? Mm-hmm. If she was like 18 and she quit for some guy and then she's like 29 trying to come back, that's one thing, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, fuck, man, is there no reality anymore? This woman would hit the wall. She was over the hill. She's now got kids and she's breaking up the family. And he didn't even cheat. That's what we know so far. And yet, he's painting, this Jim Sheridan guy is painting him as inconsistent. I mean, and her as really a fighter for the underdog, for the abused, for the people that are taken advantage of, for the weak, right? That's what's going on. And then there's just endless people who are going to give her reasons. This wasn't written by her. You can't be in a committed. You can't be married to somebody who changes his mind on one work decision, is what they're saying. So basically now, marriage, divorce, is at the level that no matter who you are and no matter what you do, you can't be consistent. I mean, as a man, everything's difficult. What are you going to do this year? What are you going to do today? Are you going to go to the store or are you not? One little thing. You think you're going to do one thing. You think you're going to buy Tesla stock and then you get some more information and it's not a good buy, you think. So then you're like, okay, I'm not going to buy it today. Then you're inconsistent. You think you're going to retire. They offer you 10 times more money. They give you, okay, we're going to get you a new receiver. We're going to get you a new guard, a new whatever positions you feel are weak in your team. And then you're like, oh, in that case, no, you're inconsistent because you thought this was going to happen and you waited to the end to make a decision. This is why you don't make commitments. This is why you stay unblackmailable. The reason why is because things change. So you think like the best decision tonight is to go to this expensive dinner, But then you find out your friends are doing something super fun that doesn't even cost anything. And you're like, oh, fuck, I want to do that. It's just to keep your options open till the final say so, right? Mm-hmm. And Brady, him not playing that last year or saying he's not going to play, that probably was just part of his negotiation. It's like, hey, I'm not going to play. And they're like, please, please, please. What do you need, sir? What do you need? And then he's like, nope, I'm not going to play. He announces it publicly. And they're like, oh shit, it's public. Oh no, we really got to come up with something now, right? These are the forces these guys are dealing with. And then meanwhile, she is portraying herself and everybody else is portraying her as basically fucking is him as an abuser, as an inconsistent, dishonest, cheating man. That's what's going on. That is the level you needed to be painted this way in the past. But now he hasn't done anything wrong. And they can paint you as a bad guy. That's the hilarious thing. The guy has done fuck all wrong. That's the crazy thing. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. This guy's not an abuser. He's never hit anybody. He's never cheated. He's never... What is going on here? But the same narrative is going on. The narrative they created back in the 70s is now being put on to the average, not to the average, I mean to the best guy, but who has done nothing wrong. So now you are like the worst criminal, but you haven't done anything. Like, he's not even inconsistent. I would argue there's nothing inconsistent about that. Every year he's had this challenge. Ever since he was 40, when he left the Patriots, right? When he was like 42. Every year he's got the same problem. Am I going to retire or not? And every year they give him more. Every year the other teams offer him more. Every year his teammates say something. Every year the fans say something. Every year the money. Every year every year his own body. He's listening to everything, trying to make the decision. Her job as a wife is to support her husband in his dream. And this is the type of husband that you really want to support. So basically they're letting her let him down in his, really one of the greatest guys in one of his greatest moments. He's now going for the longest living. He's going for the Super Bowl. He's like doing great things. Mm-hmm. And they're painting him as this evil, abusive, kind of like patriot. They're kind of painting him as the patriarchy. It's kind of what they're doing with this kind of like, the downtrodden or fist up like Black Power in the Olympics in '64. That's what they're trying to make it look like. It's like she's fighting against this thing. And I'm telling you, for you as a regular guy, you better take this shit seriously. That what they're saying, I believe, is that marriage itself is the patriarchy. So when they leave marriage, they're leaving the evil, the woman being held back. That's what they're saying. Mm-hmm. The bottom line, they're saying that marriage itself, that women want, is so women want to be married. They want to go to a wedding. They want to get children, and they want to get maybe access to child support and all that. Mm-hmm. But it's so crazy because they're saying they want it when they're young, but then when they're 42, then all of a sudden it's the patriarchy. So you can't win. You can't win with marriage because you're going to be painted, no matter how good you are, how consistent, how faithful, how much money you make. Because you as a regular guy, you think, well, if I made that much money, if I did. No. He's being painted worse than you. It's just the words aren't being said. It's all pictures and insinuations, right? And she's like, now she's got a perfect argument here. You can't be in a committed relationship with someone who's inconsistent with you. Is he inconsistent with her? Okay. And so basically, yeah, so she's now without her wedding ring. So everything they said was not going to happen. The big fight for the money, it's all happening. I never thought. Yes, now both lawyers. Yeah, now money. Yeah. Okay. So everything that they said in the beginning, that she's breaking up the family, she's a homewrecker, is all not true. It's all true. She's going for the money. She's going for everything. And they're still bragging. She's got a net worth. Well, then why is she going for the money? If this matters.
She's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
So what does it matter?
Well, what does it matter? She should be like I don't understand. Why even have any kind of divorce lawyers. Just make an agreement with him. Like, just say, look, I got 400 mil. I'm good. Like, I don't need anything. You know, that would be the wise thing for her to do. And like, that would be the smart thing for the children too. I don't think she should leave him. I think it's totally insane, right? But anyway, so here's what we got. Now here's the interesting thing, because here's the other thing the Sun is doing. So the Sun helping brand. Porn legend offers to help Mr. McDreamy Brady. So at the same time as this guy is having his home wrecked, I believe, personally, as a football fan, I think he lost the last 2 games because of this fight. I think that his career has been affected by this Giselle bitch. She is now affecting his ability to play. Now, he came back and won last week, but those 2 weeks in the middle of the fight, he lost 2 in a row. He won the first 2 games of the season. Guy's 45. He kicked ass. He lost the first 2 and he kicked ass in the third one, in the 5th game, right? But she's now sabotaging his career by this fight. He probably won't win the Super Bowl, and probably because of this fight. Like, it's my guess, right? So she's like actively, not only is she like breaking up his family, taking his children, trying to take his money when she's already got money. This chick is a full-on evil force, right? Meanwhile, she's like, you think you're going to play another year? Well, fuck you. You're going to lose. I'm going to make your year so miserable. You know, you're 45, right? That guy needs all his energy. He can't afford like the worst public divorce fight ever.
If he gets tackled bad in a game because of his mind state, then
it's all over.
Done. Yeah.
Oh, just one bad tackle, or even if he's trying to fucking pick up a box at home or something, you know, like you break your finger, like anything can happen. Like, it's like fucking one broken finger, that guy's out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he's out for the season, right? Especially on his throwing hand, right? Anything can happen, man. This guy's like, he's a pro athlete in a career that usually only lasts a couple of years, and now he's playing like 20 plus years. You know, fuck, the guy's a madman. You know, he's a miracle, you know, of longevity. But you just keep adding these things on here, breaking up his family, dissing him in public, you know, talking about her new career. She had this whole thing planned. Now it's coming out. She had the whole thing planned all along. She wanted a new career, and that more is going to come out in the future. I read about it. I won't do it in this one. But basically, the idea that she left him because of this is not even true either. She had a whole plan ready to go, out of box. But what they're trying to do here is they're trying to make it look like Tom Brady's cheating. That's what they're trying to do, is inconsistent. And then here's this porn star. Porn legends offered to help missing dream. Now, of course, they're not saying that he cheated. They're just showing a picture of him and this girl who's supposedly, quote unquote, girl. And she's supposed to be hot. Is she hot? Is she a girl? Let's look at it. Let's check it out. Okay. So I didn't know who she was because, I just didn't know. I didn't know she was. But anyway, her name is Brandy McLove, or Brandy Love, right? Her porn name, her actress name, whatever you call it, stage name. Now, here's a picture of her and him. Now, what does that mean when you see that picture? It means he's cheating with her. That's what it means. The picture matters. The picture they choose matters, right? And so there's him and her, right? Why both? This is an article about her. Okay. She offers to help. Okay. Has received marriage advice from a porn star. Wow. This is so valuable that we deserves like a newspaper article, right? So I'm not going to give it too much. I just think it's funny because Tom is reported to split from his wife. Who split from who? Tom splitting from his wife? I never heard about that. All I heard about is her leaving him. Tom is splitting from his wife? That's big news. Where is that? Right? Set for divorce from his wife of 13 years. They're writing the whole thing as if he did it. And if he's cheating. Yeah, he's got all these. Just because women like him, he's being presented as a cheater. Can you believe that? That is fucking. And then let's look at it a little closer. Who is this girl? She's pretty old, for starters. Let's just get a look at her, right? Look at that chin. That chin is fucking huge. Now, when you look at her like that, she looks good, right? She looks okay, right? You know, she had a kid when she was 21. I looked her up. She's had a kid. You can see the stretch marks by her by her belly button, which is fine. You know, when you have children, you're gonna have stretch marks, but they're airbrushed out as usual. Of course, is there any makeup on him? Airbrush on him? No. He looks, you know, he's always looks like a guy, right? Guys are just basically going to be portrayed as guys. They're not. She's got tons of makeup on, but look at her eyes carefully, right? Can you see any wrinkles there? Let's see if we can get here. Yeah, you can see a lot of fucking wrinkles there. If you look carefully, her eyes are dark, fucking dark, and that chin is fucking huge, right? I just a side note, but any girl who's got that fucking collar, run. Any girl who wears these collars, these slave collars, run. If a girl is already into that, she's somebody else's slave, not yours. Get the fuck out of there. This is not a normal sign. If a girl's into this collar thing, I say fucking run for your life. This girl, she loves being all those things that happen in those videos, right? And it was all other guys until she met you. And then she's basically, it's a sign she's been totally ran through by everybody. And it's not just her. A lot of girls now are like wearing these chokers. It's a symbol to guys. Like guys like me are like, oh, okay, that's what she's into. That's what she wants, right? So anyway, she's got this. Okay, so let's go in here. I just want to say, like, she's being portrayed as this beautiful young thing. She's pretty old. I forgot how old she is. Pretty fucking old. Now let's look at her fucking legs here. See that purple down by her crotch on the left? That is stretch marks. Those are airbrushed. I can almost guarantee those are airbrushed stretch marks. So why do they airbrush her stretch marks? Because they want to portray her as this, basically they want to portray a woman as an attractive, young, innocent, even if she's a porn star that's way old, they want to always be able to portray them as whatever they want. They're just like these transformer trucks. But in real life, they're not. See, in real life, most guys are not that stupid. But they're doing this on a large scale. So you kind of get confused as a man. You're like, is she like a young porn star? Is she like some young hottie, you know? You got to like, look at her hair. Her hair is like a fucking, like a dog or something. Like, look at this fucking hair. Where's it? Oh, fuck. Where's the hair? I can't really get a very big one. But look at that hair. This is when you fuck a lot of girls, you start to get more realistic about girls. And you look more closely. Look at that hair on the bottom, kind of right. It's kind of where it pops off her head. It's like gray. It's like, it's not at all what she's trying to portray. Now, I'm not saying like we all age, we all get old, but that hair there is like a 60-year-old. My hair, I'm 57. My hair is not like that. So that's a girl who's abused her body, her health, and has dyed her hair 5,000 million times, right? It's like things are falling apart, you know. But she's being able to portray as like some fucking hottie. Like, why do they need to portray her as like as this young innocent thing? Why do they even have to do that? Why not just portray her as what she is? You know what I mean? Like, why not just portray her as what she is? I just don't get it. It's just, okay. Oh, she's fucking 49. Oh my God. I didn't know that. Wow. She's older than him. She's fucking 49. Holy shit. She can get the retiree discount at Goodwill. Yeah, pretty soon. She can get the discount, the senior discount at Goodwill.
6 more years.
In 6 years, yeah. She'll be getting senior discount. I'm genuinely sorry. It's the toughest thing. Financial. If you need a lap to cry on, I'll fuck you. I'm like an aging, run through, fake, you know, oh, that's so hot. Let's see, a lewd image or something, a sex act. There was no response. But see, what they're trying to say is like, Tom Brady's cheating and he's got all these girls and so he'll be fine. It's like, just break up his marriage, take away his children, just take a fight, ruin his last year in the NFL. And it's all good because he's got a porn star that's 5 years older than him. And he's good. Like, he's covered. You know what I mean? Like, you know, wouldn't you want to have a 50-year-old porn star trying to hit on you? Wouldn't that be hot? You know, that's so hot. Imagine the diseases that you get from just being ran through by everybody on the set. your box is like blown out like a fucking can of coffee, right? It's your ass is the size of a can of coffee. Like you're just totally, I mean, the word used that just doesn't even describe it. It's just because you got age, you got kids, she's got kid, she's old, she's a porn star in the old days, right? Before a lot of the protection, right? This girl's been, you know, it's been a hard life. You know, she chose her career, but it wasn't an easy one. It was rough. Now she chose it. So, I mean, you know, just like guys, you know, we used to choose boxing in the old days. It was rough, you know, it was fucking rough. But anyway, the dishonesty, the way he's painted, just this here is painting him as a cheater because he could cheat. And then he's painting her as a fucking princess, a fresh princess who's going to come in and save him. What is going on in this world? I mean, if he's going to get a fresh princess, get himself a fucking fresh princess, right? You know, get himself a nice fucking little sweet thing, right? And which is waiting in line to fuck him, by the way. You know, the insanity never ends, guys. It just never ends. Don't step into the ring. You know, remain single, and man, your life is going to be good. Like my life today, I'm in Central California. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want today. I'm not reporting to any woman. I'm not sending any pictures. Hey, baby, I'm here. I'm with Bank. He's a man. I'm not with a woman. My work. You know, I'm working hard. We did overtime last night. I'm not. Like we're going to basically do whatever the fuck we want, probably, which means go to the gym, probably end up climbing Point Sal again. Point Sal, which is a kick-ass climb. You know, we're going to probably, I'm guessing we'll probably, here's what we'll do today. Here's my terrible life as a single guy at 57, right? We're going to go to the Planet Fitness. We're going to lift heavy. I'm going to try to do 3 plates, you know, going for it again, going squats, deadlifts, full body. It's going to be fucking awesome. We're going to be doing high fives between sets, right? Then we're going to go eat a bunch of fucking meat. It's going to be awesome. Bunch of dead animals. Then we'll probably end up going hiking, texting Sean, meeting him at Point Sal. These are the odds this is going to happen. And then like last night, we're going to probably end up having another big barbecue. You know, very likely steaks or chicken or fucking fish or something. We're going to have something tasty tonight. And then we're going to laugh, all of us together. And then we're going to go to sleep and wake up. And then tomorrow's going to be another day. Or you can be going through this hell as you're like a rag doll. Tom Brady. I mean, are you jealous? I'm not jealous of the guy.
Nah.
I mean, like his life, he's fucking so complicated. My God, I don't want his life, man.
There's too many moving
Fuck
parts.
that, dude. Fuck that. His kids are crying. They're like 9 and 11, and the family's being broke. Dude, don't go there. No matter how successful you can't beat the system. It's a meat market. It's a grinder. It's a fucking, I mean, marriage has always been, a grinder for men. It's always been like a meat grinder, you know, where you just grind a man down to nothing. But now it's like humiliation and grinding, and it's just nobody gets out alive, man. Fuck that, guys. Stay single. Stay happy. Be with your friends. Make your life as unblackmail as possible. Keep searching. Every day is not going to be the most exciting. You're going to have days where you'll be like kind of not sure what to do because everybody else is doing something else. They're all blue pill. It is difficult to be a guy who's free. It is sometimes. Some days you wake up and you wonder, should I be a slave, you know? And then you read these things and you look at people and you're like, just go to the fucking supermarket and watch couples shopping at night and then think, are they happy? Are they like super ecstatic to be with each other? Is this better than what I have? Fuck that. You can have that any day. I can get married. If I want to get married, I can get married in one phone call. I know I got a few girls I can call, one fucking phone call. I could just say, hey, you want to get married? And she'll be like, yes. And I'll say, if you want to get married, be here by tomorrow night. Fly out from whatever country you're in. I want you to be by 6 o'clock tomorrow night. If I told there's 3 girls right now I could call, they would be on the plane. They would be like at the airport. They'd be like, when are we getting married? I'm ready to go. Like if I wanted marriage, it's any day. It's not a problem. But it's like, I don't want it, man. I've seen it. I've looked at it from every angle. It's not that I don't want a connection. I loved kids. I really and truly like the kind of guy who would, my basic nature is as a guy who would have like 8 kids around the house, tearing the house apart, thrashing the sofa, falling out of tree houses, like, resting on the ground. That's my basic nature. Like in a perfect world, that's what I would be doing. I like kids. I like the insanity of like kids running around, breaking things, thrashing things, the house is being a mess, and like killer food, teaching the kids tough lessons. Like that would be my nature. But because that's not happening in modern day, I'm choosing another path. And the other path is pretty damn good. So guys, don't worry. It's out there. Don't give up. Just don't be brainwashed. Right? This is a meat grinder. This is living hell. Look again at this article. That's what happens to you. It's fucking hell. You're going to be portrayed as a terrible guy. Marriage itself is slavery. That's what they're saying. Marriage itself. So do the girl a favor and don't marry her. Because you don't want slavery, right? I don't want slavery. If anybody thinks it's slavery, I don't want it for myself. I don't want it for girls either. I'm serious. I don't want slavery for anybody. Nobody should be a slave. So don't marry. Right, guys? Yeah, do everybody a favor. Stop the patriarchy. Don't get married.